Kemerek lebokli tasil sel mergi dragui guduk marmarcel long erud programmer gid sel talk show leban tri adala PAWS matri kali nang studio ali tasil makadam open al program melmol malungli tasil sel legor kamiu.
Malungili tasil zakam sulang. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to PFM 87.9. We're back again with the Palau Animal Welfare Society. My name is Menzel, or you can call me Matt, and I'm here again with Dr. Peter, as you guys met him last time. We're here again to talk about the importance of pet ownership and what we can do to maintain a good relationship in the community with humans and dogs and the environment. Last time we were here, we spoke about the outreach clinics that we were going to do in the upcoming state. So I just want to, before we continue with the talk show, I just want to give the opportunity for Dr. Peter to go over the clinics that they did and what kind of information he would like to share with us today. Doctor?
Okay. Thank you, Marzela. Thank you, everyone. I'm Peter. I'm the managing veterinarian for the Palau Animal Welfare Society. For the last 4 months I've been here, we were able to attend a few outreach clinic at Airai, Amerik, Ngetsa, Napang, Ngarad, Merekio, and Airai. Yeah. Generally speaking, the everything was okay. Because we prepare in advance. We let the people know we are coming. So everything is always done in that's in advance, and the people know we are coming. But to be honest with you, the number has not been good for almost all the clinics. I can speak for one specifically at Amerik. It was really good, that one, because we had somebody on the ground who really organized. He put all the people together. He knew all the homes. He knew how many dogs they had, and he was the one who went picking them during that time, brought them. We did the sterilization and naturally dropped them, and it was very successful. But for the others, to be honest, the numbers it's been quite low, because for 2 days having less than 10 dogs.
Wow,
it is very low number. The reason we are saying this is because we want people to take advantage of this, because it's a free service. And actually imagine we are going to an extra mile to bring the service close to you, because for us, our clinic is at Korol. You can imagine people coming from Ngarad to Korol. It's very far. So that's why we are going that extra mile to bring the service close to you. Exactly. Yes.
So I just want to emphasize what he's saying. When they went to Aimelik, they were able to assess, and luckily for them, they had someone there that was able to collect the dogs and knew the households that needed the service, so they were able to do that. But in other states, that was not the case, and it was hard for our clinic to reach the dogs that needed the service. And sometimes we take free opportunities for granted, and if we were in a different country where this service was required, for example, my dog was born in California, it was required for them to be neutered or spayed at a specific time. That cost a lot of money. If they were to do that here, I don't think anyone would be able to afford having a dog if that was a requirement. So I part of our outreach is to make sure that people know the service that we are providing and do take advantage of it, because it is an expensive endeavor, and sometimes we tend to take it for granted when it's free. So our show today is going to be focused on our activities here in Koror. We're going to jumpstart our outreach clinics here in Koror with a dog walkathon. Some people have already gotten the information, the flyer is going around. But it's going to be on Saturday, August 15th, 7 o'clock a.m. to 9:30 a.m. at the Scotia Rump in Miyuns. And this is a free community event. your dog must be accompanied by the owner or a person who can be responsible for the dog, and they have to be leashed at all times. So before we continue, I want to kind of ask some questions for the vet. Why do you think this walkathon is a good opportunity for people to kind of get introduced to the services that we provide?
It's okay. It's just like a fun day, whereby I don't think. Other than I heard before that there was a dog show a while back, So since then I don't think there is anything that has brought people and their pets together, So it is an opportunity whereby we'll bring the people and the animals together, socialize, we'll have a few activities like we call it the course.
It's like an obstacle course for the dogs.
Also for the dogs, you see, we'll be able to give free vet check, whereby all the dogs that are coming, it have to go through the vet. We need so we can get the information from the clients, what we call the history. We can from that information you can be able to assess when was the last time the dog went to the vet. So because possibly that was the last time the dog was vaccinated, was dewormed, got the heartworm check, So we need to check that. Then we need to do the physical examination, whereby we need to check to tell whether the circulation is okay, the heart is fine, and from there. We also do free deworming, by the way. We'll also have the medication for the ticks, for fleas, We're going to also give people tips on how to train their dogs for, basic,
Right.
A lot of things will be going on that day. Yes.
So I just want to emphasize those things that he mentioned. It's going to be a free community clinic for everyone. You don't have to have had your dog checked by PAWS before to bring them over. You can bring them over. Honestly, I've never, every time I've ever had my dog checked or buy dewormers or pills for or ticks and fleas, I've always had to pay. So this is a free clinic. Please take advantage of it. You don't have to be a member, or your dog doesn't have to have a chart for you guys to attend. And there's no registration fee. I was able to kind of ask the community to send me questions, especially for that are relevant to dog owners here in Palau. In consideration of the dog walk. So there's a question that came in. It says, a lot of people in Palau do not necessarily walk their dogs. Many dogs spend most of their time around the house or the yard. Why should we be walking our dogs?
It's very important. It's a kind of an exercise, for the dog. Just like human beings, definitely. If you just eat and you lazy around, what will happen? You're going to have health problem. You're going to put a lot of weight, all those things, exactly. At the same time, you're going to hear people saying, my dog does not like other dogs, does not like people. Why? Because that dog has never socialized. Because if you take your dog for a walk, possibly that dog does not like other dogs. But when you're taking your dog for a walk, there is that possibility that there will be other dogs or the other people. Because it's like when you're doing something for the first time, you're scared. You're scared. But you see, as you keep doing it, you start realizing, this is normal. So moving the dog, they're gonna socialize, they're gonna bond, and your dog will become better than it was there before. You get me? And it's, animals are very bright. Only that sometimes you don't realize exactly. And we as a human beings, we limit ourselves to the way we understand the animals exactly.
Right.
But if you continue, because the animals, they learn by doing something again and again and again and again. And that's where we come with the reward. When you do good, we give you the reward. Because for us, the reason why we are what we are today is because our parents, they taught us what is good. But through what? Through pinching. You are pinched. So there is that consequence of, if I do something, I relate to the pain I feel. So I'll not try it. Even the dog the same. But for them, we do the reward. So it's a good thing. It's an exercise. It's a socialize, and your animal gonna become better and better. Because if you because when that dog is just within your compound, it only knows the owner and the people who come to the compound, anything. But beyond there is an enemy. And this is where we get surprises. You bring a chicken, the animal has never, the dog has never seen a chicken. Then it starts eating chicken, and it
Right.
becomes a problem. So it's something that's good at the end of the day.
I mean, I wanna share a story because it's as you're talking, I remember my dog. My dog is very well trained. He's a service dog. He has a certification. But for a period of time, I didn't realize this. It wasn't my intention, but I had not socialized him with other dogs. The socialization that we did was with other people. And I started to realize, like, whenever I bring him around other dogs, he'll be looking at the other dogs and kind of confused when they react towards him, whether they bark or want to play around. He'll be confused. And my dog he's not, aggression is not the first thing that comes to his mind, but he'll just like look at a dog and feel so very different. And I would imagine if he was not a well-trained dog, he would be more aggressive. And I see that in every dog that come to the clinic or whatever. Like in the dog show, there were 2 dogs that were I can tell that they were young and they didn't mean to be aggressive, but it was the normal reaction that they were used to.
Of course, yes.
And I had to sit down with them and really like, and my dog was there, so he was kind of the control subject, and they eventually relaxed and were able to hang out and coexist with my dog. But for like 20 minutes, they were just very the energy was heightened, and I think that's very important.
Okay. Take it like this one. It's the dog only knows its natural environment, which is home. Exactly. Now you take it out of that comfort zone, something. It will be scared. It has never seen another dog, and then definitely, they're gonna come sniffing. Exactly. The dog does not know what is happening. But now, if you say my dog is scared, I will not get out of this comfort zone. It will never run that. So you have to bring your dog, whether it is controllable or not, because that's where we need to start with the control.
Right.
Yes.
And now I also see this as a lot of people don't realize it because a lot of Palauan dogs are outside animals. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you have food and water and shelter for your dog, I think it's okay. But with that, people don't realize that your dog in your environment might be comfortable, but if you take it out, the heat, the humidity, the noise, the other interactions, it can cause stress. What would you recommend for a person who's never taken their dog out and it's sunny out? What would you remind them to as a caretaker?
Yes, that's why actually the first thing we considered is the environment here. It's very hot, it's very humid. Exactly. That's why we are. The walkathon is very early in the morning at 7 a.m. Exactly, because you see with this kind of humid and heat, you can get something we call heat stroke. It's quite common, and especially when you're dealing with the dogs that are a bit heavy. You're dealing with the dogs like Brachycephalic breed. So we're talking about the bulldogs.
Yes.
The Chihuahua. The pugs. They already have some compromises with the heart and the breathing. So that's why we are doing it. So the best thing to do is, okay, that's the first thing we considered. Very early in the morning, you need to make sure your dog has enough water. Exactly. And don't feed it in the morning. Don't feed it in the morning.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah? Yes, because with the exercise, because the other conditions we can get, and especially with the deep-chested dogs, there are things we call GDVRS, gastric dilatation, is when the belly is full, then it's involved in the obstacle course.
Right.
It can cause quite a problem. Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
So our recommendation, if you are to attend the dog walk, maybe don't feed your dog that morning. Maybe you can bring snacks just in case, if you know that your dog can get famished. Bring snacks. We will provide water stations.
Yes.
So if your dog doesn't want to share the dog bowl, like my dog, you can bring your own dog bowl, but we'll have water stations for everyone. The thing that I really want to emphasize was that you mentioned earlier is the free vet checks. One thing that will probably get people's attention, and what exactly are the vet checks will be. You mentioned it. Can you can we take the opportunity to like go over? So dewormers.
So the vet check definitely is actually it possibly to be the after registration. Okay, because there's somewhere we have to. So it will be the second station exactly. Definitely we need to know. Okay, like how old is your dog? You know that history. Okay, the history of heartworm, who has done it, because we are also looking at. There are those people possibly they are busy during weekdays. They also do things like the heartworm, but possibly they are running out. We need to do refill. We need they are possibly young puppies that will be about less than 7 months, which we can start direct without going for testing. Okay, so we can we can start there. We can refill. We can do those things. We also need to do physical examination because people they don't realize here because you see the dog is okay. The dog is running up and down in the compound. So sometimes you assume everything is okay. But things like heartworm and especially with the young dogs, you not know because the dog seems okay. But as the days goes by, as they multiply, as they grow in size now, they start now compromising the status or the functioning of the heart. And now the dog will start tiring, with just little exercise, it tires, it will be coughing, such kind of a thing. So we want to do all these things so that even if I realize, like an example, your animal has a problem, so I can book an appointment with you. Actually, after the walkathon, I'm going back to the clinic, so you can come, so we can continue, the other things. And at the same time, you're gonna get a lot of information. Any question you have, you can ask, because I believe people sometimes I don't blame the people, but I think they don't do these things because they have no information. They don't know about them. So you can come. Even those people who they don't have dog and possibly in the future you want to have a dog, you can come. You're gonna get a lot of information. You can ask any questions. That's why we'll be there. Yes.
So just to re-emphasize, the free vet check is for everyone. Even if you don't have a dog and you have any questions and you're interested, come ask a question. And we're doing everything at the clinic up until like spay and neutering, right? Like if we can give the dewormer, we'll give it then. The medication for fleas and ticks, we'll give it then if it's fitting for your dog. Like you said.
You can also do an appointment. If the dog is not stressed, you can do an appointment there.
Right.
And then we'll take it from Monday now and then we'll give you a day.
So all of these activities that we were doing on Saturday is to jumpstart basically the outreach clinic for Kuror, starting with Kuror. The major message from the Palau Animal Welfare Society is to spay and neuter dogs. Why do you think that's the main emphasis of the organization PAWS?
Spay neuter, we are looking at the population of these animals. And for me, I also add something called the quality of life. Look, right now, even us as a human beings, the prices of basic commodities, it's astronomical. The prices has gone beyond, exactly. So
we live in Palau.
Exactly. So if for you as a human, you cannot be able to provide for yourself, how will you be able to provide for a dog? So because you're the priority. So what if you have 5 or 6 at the end of the day? So we're saying whereby now those dogs, they'll be living on the scraps. Whatever you ate. And then that's not the right food for the animal at the end of the day because it's what you left over. So it have salt, it have everything, which is not right for the dog at the end of the day. But generally, the most important thing is population control. Because if we don't do this, it means if one female dog's in 1 year, possibly you have like 15 or 16 puppies. So it means the next 2-3 years will be forced because this is only the humane way of controlling the populations. So if that population goes, and especially with your country whereby you depend on tourism, so there'll be nuisance everywhere. There'll be diseases. There'll be ticks. There'll be fleas everywhere. Exactly. And these diseases, don't forget, some are what? Some are zoonotic. So even human beings will have this problem. So it means in the next 2-3 years, we'll be forced to use like a chemical kind of killing the dogs.
Yeah.
Or using, so we're talking about euthanasia, we are talking about putting the strychnine on the street, so the dogs are dying every day. So you see, so that's where we today, when we still have time, that's why we are trying to control this through spay neuter.
And I think it's important to mention that some of these techniques are quite not the techniques of Palau Animal Welfare Society. The techniques that
That's
the community
cruelty.
is using sometimes are quite archaic and kind of inhumane when they don't want to have a dog anymore. I've seen people shoot the dog. I've seen people like just really not nice to treat an animal that you once thought as part of your family, you know, and the part of it where you said a lot of people breed their dogs and don't realize the effects of that. I cannot tell you how many times my dog is I'm very proud of him and he's a good looking dog. And many times walking down Koror, people will stop in the traffic. They will stop and ask
Yes.
if your dog has offsprings or is willing to mate with my dog. And I'm in my mind, I'm just thinking like, I rescued my dog because the owners they were not actual breeders and they bred them improperly. So they have physical disabilities. And my dog was one that survived, but it's still himself. Like when he got to be fixed, one of his testicles was lodged inside his body. So it was very extensive surgeries for a dog. And then knowing that there are people who raise their dogs specifically to breed and then sell, I want to emphasize to those people that your knowledge of breeding dogs is not enough for that dog to be healthy. Sometimes most dogs nowadays are bred from generations and generations of other species of dogs, and if you don't have the understanding of what these two dogs will create, it can cause more diseases and more harm for that dog's quality of life. So it's very important to say that what you said about people trying to have their own babies and sell them and probably make more money out of that, but that is not it's a very wrong way to I always equate it to human trafficking. For some reason, yeah, it's not the same thing, but it's like the way in my mind, the way I see it, it's very similar. That you're forcing dogs to have babies for your own good, and you don't realize actually that person who's buying that dog might be buying a faulty dog that's going to be aggressive and filled with diseases.
Exactly. Yes.
So with that said, I want you to explain again the kind of myths that people believe in, like my male dog will have a different personality if I fix it, or my female dog would be more aggressive if I neuter or spay them. What is your comment to that? Like,
For us, we are scientists.
mhm,
So sometimes, yes, okay, you agree wherever you go, there is something people believe in, okay, and it's not a bad thing, because even me, I'm an African, so there are also things that we believe in. But when you look at personalities, it's just like human being. The way we are saying, if you grow in, an environment where you grow, and especially when you're young, the environment you grow in determines much of who you're gonna become later in life. If you grow in a city full of dogs, because to you, when your brain is growing up, is being intertwined, that's what you understand is a normal life, exactly. So I don't think there is anything to do with dogs, whether it is intact or not, it's going to change personality. Because the thing is, I'll take two dogs. A dog that's aggressive, no more aggressive, because the way we are saying, so you want to keep the dog in the compound, in the cage. So that dog does not know anybody else. It only knows you because you feed it. Exactly. So anybody else who's going to come to that compound, definitely going to attack that person like that. But take another dog, which the same dog, but it was trained since it was young. So it takes command. It knows what no is no. You get me? So whether this dog that was trained is intact or not, it will gonna retain its personality because it was trained. Because that's where we are coming. Because we are lacking the fundamental there. When they are young, you need to train them. At least few basic things. And that's where. But the dog will not change any personality, because there is a reason. Actually, to tell you the truth, those aggressive dogs, those are the people who are gonna come asking us, what can I do with my dog? I cannot be able to control it. It beats somebody, exactly. And the first thing we're going to ask is it intact? Because we know definitely with such an animal, we need to castrate it so that the testosterone can go down. And yes, that animal becomes a little docile. But at the same time, that animal needs training. There's no change of personality.
I always use my, as I mentioned earlier, I always use my dog as an example. My dog will attack you if I tell it to attack you.
Yes.
Regardless, it will attack you to the point where you're probably going to need medical attention, or just attack you to move you away. And it understands if I'm telling him to attack a person to the point that they will need medical attention, or just move them away from me. He understands that, and he's fixed. Like, he actually don't know his life with like intact. Like, he doesn't know he was born, and within 2 weeks or when he was strong, we got him fixed. So there's all this really false information out there that people really need to get away from. All right, we'll do some kind of quick. I kind of sorted the questions that came in, and it's either true, false, or it depends. And if it depends, you can explain.
Yes.
The first one: dogs can eat the same food we eat.
Yes, they can eat. But however, that's the thing. That's what I said. There are those things the dogs. That's why I'm saying people, they need to look for that information. Why don't we feed the animal? The animals, like dogs, they are not. Garlic is not good for them. Chocolate is not good for them. Nuts are not good for them. You see, so the dogs can eat rice and fish, rice and beef. But now remove salt from that.
Yes.
You get me? Possibly something like olive oil is good because it's good for the skin. You get me? A few drops, but not a lot of oil, not any. So that's the information we are supposed to be looking for. Exactly. What, yes, they can eat, the food we eat, but there is bad. What can not eat? You need to know those diet and what to do.
I always tell people,
Yes,
and this is what I do: eat the dog food that you're giving your dog, to taste it so that you know what's required. Because I eat, regardless it's what the bag says, it's for dogs only, I always just taste it, you know, because it's my dog. I'm not going to taste another. My dog, I want to know what they're eating. And it's always so bland. Like, there is a smell to it. If it's like a lamb or chicken or whatever, you can smell it. But if you taste it, you barely taste anything. And that's what I want people to know. It's not the salt and the spices that we put in our food. Is the dog will taste it, and it's very heightened and elevated. So it's not good. If my dog stays in my yard, it does not need flea or tick prevention.
It does. It does, because okay. I'll give them an example. Okay, so you keep your dogs in your yard. How about the neighbor? They have dogs. Most probably, yes, they have dogs. They are dogs that are roaming around, all those things. They need to know one thing about the ticks. The ticks, they usually sense what we call, it's like they have infrared. They sense the heat. That's what makes them to come. They usually sense the warm-blooded animal at the end of the day, exactly. And sometimes, especially with this environment of humid and heat, and especially when it rains, then that promotes the growth, propagation of those parasites. And if you say you not give the animal, you see, at the end of the day, it will have those parasites, one way or the other. I give them an example. I've seen for a few days ago, for the past few months, I've seen quite a number of cases. Okay, I cannot say 100%, but the clinical signs, they are classic of leptospirosis, you know? You see, so you have a yard, even you have the wall, but as far as you leave the food in the compound, because most of people, they feed the dog outside. So, because they need to understand this, when you feed the animal, don't leave those plates with the food. You give it 1 hour. If it does not finish, you need to take it away, because you need to teach it that when I give you the food, you need to eat. So because they leave the food there, so those rats, they're in the forest, but they know how to sense. They're still gonna come. They're gonna eat on those plates. They're gonna urinate on that water, and that's where we are getting this kind of condition. So if you say whether your animal needs parasite, it needs vaccination, does not because it's in the compound, you are wrong.
Yeah.
This disease will come to you.
Because
one way or the
regardless, you
other.
don't see it, but they interact. A lot of I saw this when I was doing the outreach to the elementary schools. I saw that it was the kids are young, so their impression of the world around them is very limited, and it's funny because sometimes when those impressions don't get corrected, they carry them to adulthood and they don't realize that they have the wrong information.
Yes.
And I often ask them, where do you think ticks and fleas come from? And they always say, from other dogs. And I'm like, we live in a tropical island. They live in the grass. They live in the forest. Like, they live with us, regardless if we want it or not. They will just latch onto our animals and humans when they need help, when they need to eat something.
Right.
And this is a known knowledge with Palauan who hunt in the forest.
Yes.
When they go hunting, when they come back, they check their body if there's any ticks and fleas. And that is not any different from your dog.
Exactly.
And I always have
Yes.
to emphasize that.
And there's like a parasite we call Demodex.
Mhm.
It's a mite.
Yeah,
That one don't get. It's actually it's always there.
right.
It's always on the dog's body. But
Mhm.
when the immunity is okay, it does not have any effect. Everything looks okay. But the moment your immunity is compromised, it flares up. And especially in the puppies, you're gonna see it in the face. It has lost a lot of fur, and the skin is becoming weakened.
So it's always
It's a normal.
there.
It's a normal
Right.
flora.
Mhm.
But when the immunity is compromised, it flares
Right.
up. So, and that one you can only use next guard, which is
Right.
so. If you say because your animal stays in the compound and does not need these things, definitely
That
no.
is not true.
That's not true.
And this one was the funniest one that I got. My dog is fat.
Yes.
Is it healthy?
No.
No, that's flat out just no.
It's not
Yeah.
because you see the thing is
Just like a fat human being.
it's a lifestyle. Yes,
Mhm.
you know these days, and sometimes we think that okay, my animal looks good when it's fat. So that's not the case because fat, and especially when it's around the major organs. We're talking about the heart, the kidneys, and whatever. It's not something that animal later in life they're gonna develop heart diseases. It's an animal that's gonna come with diabetes. You know, those kind of.
And
things.
especially in
Yes,
this weather,
exactly.
you really
Yes,
don't want your dog to
of
be in that
course.
condition.
Yes.
Actually, when I first moved here with my dog, I went to the vet and she told me your dog is 2 kilos overweight. That was very hard for him. Like it was so hard. 2 kilos is so hard to lose for the dog.
Of course,
Yeah.
yes.
With change of habit and everything, it was very hard. This one. Do dogs naturally know how to swim?
To be honest, I don't know 100%.
No,
yes.
I
but I know one thing: they can't drown. Even if you throw into the ocean, it will be able to swim.
Mhm.
That's the thing. But naturally, I don't know whether they are
Instinctual or not, yeah.
Instinctual, yes.
Yeah.
Most ways.
But you like
It's
it,
like-
it
it's like-
goes with the lifestyle.
Yes.
Like if your dog is not healthy, it's
Yes.
probably not going to be able to like hold himself up or not used to it for a sustained amount of time. My dog, for example, has a floaty. He knows how to swim, but if he swims for a long time, like I do,
gonna get
because he
tired,
wants
of
to
course.
swim with me, he has to wear a floaty.
Yes.
They don't sell them here, unfortunately, but just be aware of your dog if
Yes.
you're around
It's
water.
like cat.
Yeah.
They say, no matter how high you throw the cat,
It'll
it
land on
always,
its feet.
and that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So it's
Unless you
instinct,
throw it from like a
Yes, it's
skyscraper.
instinct, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. My dog does not need vaccination because you already
We just
explained
talked
this.
about
It
that.
never
Yes,
leaves the
exactly.
property.
Yes.
Is it okay for my dog to roam the neighborhood because it always comes home?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. So, okay. Let me give you an example, especially here. Okay, sometimes you're gonna see a very nice looking dog out
Mm-hmm.
there, and actually the dog has a collar, so definitely it has an owner. You
Mhm.
get me? This is where we are saying, okay, I don't want to call it, but it is what it is. That is, it's an ownership problem
Mhm.
because the thing is, this dog,
Mhm.
since it's the first time it went out, nobody tried to do anything. Then it went out the second time, the third time, and that thing became it's like addiction now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it goes
And
to take
now
a stroll.
it thinks that
exactly.
I'm a community dog.
Exactly.
I'm not really
That's the
belonging
thing.
to that one.
So if at the beginning there we trained that dog, that was wrong. Now we started training it there down there. They would have at least cut short of this. You know, but it's not a good thing. It shows there is a problem, especially when they were young, how they were trained. That's where the problem.
And you
comes
never
in.
know
Exactly. Yes.
how other people take care of their dogs, and if they're around your dog, with the way we're vaccinating and stuff, they can transfer diseases and stuff like that. Like heartworm is transferred by mosquito bites, and a lot of people don't think about those things. I actually one time I let my dogs out and they were running around in my yard, and another dog came into my yard and my dogs got defensive, and the neighbor was like, "Oh, your dog. The reason why your dogs are like that is because you don't let them loose." And I was like, "They're like that because they're protecting their property, and I've trained them to do that. And yeah, I can tell them to stop, but I want them to protect the property, so that I tell them to do that." The fact that they didn't understand was me letting them loose whenever they wanted to be. And I'm like, no, they still they're my dog. I have to control them, and I'm responsible for their actions. So yeah, we don't like that he fought with other dogs in my yard, but that's what they've been taught to do. And if you don't want and I have a fence and everything, so that's understood.
Yes, at the same time, when you're looking at the spread of diseases, it's a movement from one. So it have ticks. So definitely when it goes out there, it's gonna meet other dogs. So whatever this one have, this one picks, it's transmit. At the end of the day, this is how we end up with the diseases everywhere. The ticks, the parasites. You know. Yes.
And sometimes even if your dog is vaccinated or has the proper thing for ticks and fleas, like sometimes it can still carry it.
Yes.
And the flea will notice and then jump off.
Actually, they need to understand one thing: the eggs, the eggs of the fleas, they can survive for a very long time, long time, no matter which environment. Actually, that's
under
why,
a rock, on top of a leaf, like anywhere.
That's why you see, like, the medicine takes 30 days. That's what they tell you. They don't give you medicine for one day, because the thing is, it will hatch possibly in 7 days. So you need to kill the mother, and the eggs you have to wait for it to hatch. It is still, the medicine have to be working, so that even the baby, when it feeds on the dog, it dies, because it takes for a very long time. Yes, on the compound.
All right, moving on to more behavioral things. This one, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks.
You can, because the thing is, you need to understand your animal. Because actually, the biggest problem we have is that people, they don't understand. Actually, that's why we want to go do the training.
Right.
Because if you don't understand your animal, if for you don't understand, how will you be able to train your dog exactly? So you have to understand the animal first. Because if your animal is aggressive, that's what we're saying. Like now you're bringing your animal. That's why we had some point there saying, what if your animal is aggressive? What if your animal does not like people? Because you need to know that, so that you can have control of your dog. That's why you need the leash, that you need a collar. Not harness. We are talking about a leash.
Yes.
Because that's how. So you have to understand your animal for you to know what your animal can do and what it cannot do. But you can teach a trick anytime.
With that said, I just want to remind, if you are just tuning in, you're listening to the Palau Animal Welfare Society. This is Dr. Peter. I'm a Menzel. I volunteer at the clinic. We're planning dog walkathon on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. at the Scotcho ramp. So come one, come all. You don't have to have a dog to attend. The continuing on with the questions, with the tricks and kind of behavioral things, what would you recommend if I were to teach my dog one trick? What would you say that one trick would be?
That's what I'm saying. It depends with your dog and what you want.
Exactly.
Because you see, at the end of the day, I think there's objective behind everything that, like the trick you want to do at the end of the day. But it's more easier to do it when they are young. And that's why we are trying to tell people they need to come, because most of the people, and especially this specific, I'm going to talk about the ladies, when they come to the clinic, the puppies between the age of 2.5 months, 2.5 months to 1 year. You know the word most of them they're gonna say this animal is very energetic. It's always up and down. You get me? That's the word they're gonna say. But if you don't teach that dog now those, to calm down, leashing, going for a walk, when it's above 1 year, to be honest, it will be very, very difficult. Have you ever seen a dog that's roaming around? It's not used of the cage. What happens when you put the cage? It will make all the noise. Exactly. What happens when you put the leash? It pulls back, and then so you have to do these things when they are still young. And that's why we're inviting the people. We need to give them these tips so that animal, it will be able to behave when, like we are talking about socializing. We're talking about your dog. So when it is in front of the people, it knows what to do. When it's in front of the dogs, so these are the things we'll be giving the people the tips on how to go about this.
I think the people who ask the question come from maybe it comes from a cultural way of mind, because while I didn't have a conversation with this person, I have this feeling that it's Palauan kids. When we go out to public with our kids, there's one word that we say, or at least for my family, and it was synonymous with my friends and their parents. When they say one thing, we become calm and we have to control ourselves because we've gone past the behavior that's acceptable in public.
Yes.
And to me, I have that word for my dog too. It's actually not a word. I just pull out the leash and he knows that he has to act a certain way. And so I always tell people, like, do that with your animal. Make sure you have something of yourself that they know that you're the owner, and stick with that. Not necessarily like a negative thing or a positive thing. Just do something that makes your dog know that you're the person with the command and that they have to listen to you.
Yes.
And that's different for every dog. Maybe if they're old or was a rescue, it's hard to train for that. But something that I always say, something that triggers your dog's ability to listen.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the last one about the behavior. If the dog is wagging its tail, does it mean it's friendly? And that's also
Yes. That's some
depends.
Depends with who. If I'm an owner,
Yeah.
definitely the dog is happy, most probably. Or what I have a treat I'm giving the dog, it's gonna wag the tail because it's expecting something. But for a dog that you have to be careful, and especially for a dog that you don't know at the end of the day. Because I'm to be honest, I'm not expecting a dog that, and especially you have never associated. There is that dog that is good, and especially like we are talking. Let's talk about breeds like golden retriever. Naturally, not all of them, but naturally they are friendly. Exactly. So that was. But when you come to the dogs like Rottweilers, you know exactly. So you have to approach it, even if that dog is walking, you have to approach it, carefully.
And I think that's important because most dogs in Palau, rarely you'll see straight breeds. It's always a mutt. And so that means a lot of personalities like mend into one. And so I always tell people, regardless of what the dog is doing, if whenever it recognizes you and you see a physical behavioral change, then you should step back and ask the owner if it's okay, regardless if it's a wagging tail or a showing of teeth or whatever. If it changes its behavior when it recognizes you, I think it's necessary to ask the owner if it's okay, regardless if it's a tail wagging or not. And then we'll move on to, since we're doing manners and kind of behavioral thing, we'll move on to talking about the agility course. The flyer says that there will be things for agility or pet manners. What exactly are good pet manners?
So, yes, this is the point. So we are talking about the basic training, because as we said earlier, when the animal is young, when the puppy is young, this is where you are laying the foundation of the control of the animal. If you are able to control it, if you are able to do, we are talking about the penny manner, we are talking about the command. The animal is able to take the command, so it makes it to reset, to go for a walk, to calm down. Exactly. You are laying a foundation of control for the rest of their life, and that dog will be a good dog for the rest of your life, and that dog will never be a surprise to you. Like one day it just rushes, you get me? Because as far as the animal knows how to take the command, yes, it knows what it means. Stay, it knows. That's a very good dog. But rarely we do that. Why? Because most of the people, when we keep the animal, we don't take our time to understand how the brain of those animals work. So you're gonna try the first day, it does not do, it's still running up and down, and you give up. But you need to know the animal, you have to repeat that thing again and again, and the reward. Because it's all about you repeat and the reward. It's about what you call condition the response. You repeat again and again until that thing. And then when you reward, the dog understands, when I do good, I get something. So this is the kind of tips we'll be giving people on Saturday on how to do the training, the basic, so that they can have a good control over their animals. Yes.
I just want to emphasize, if you think that this is going to be like a competition, it's nothing like that. We did that during the animal dog show, where we had the agility course and they went through it, and it was a competition, but it was a friendly competition. It wasn't strict or anything. But this will be an opportunity for you to introduce a sort of obstacle in front of your dog and train it to go through that obstacle. And maybe it's going to be a physical thing in front of the dog that it has to go through, but it'll give you a sense of how to train your dog, whether it's a dog that requires a lot of visual aid, or the way you change your tone. Those will be shared at that moment. And don't worry, it's not a competition. And people ask if children are allowed to participate. I always say this: if the dog is the child's dog, it's good to have that relationship. And in my experience, usually that's the best relationship. Kids are, for some reason, are better at training dogs than adults if it's their dog. But what's your opinion?
Actually, I would recommend to have a lot of kids, because this is the future generation. Exactly. And these are the people we are trying to change. You know, the perspective, how they see things, especially when it comes to the animal. Exactly. So if they are there, they will run a lot. And this is where we are saying the dog is not just a dog. They can see now the dogs is going for a walk. With there are other things other than just having the dog in the house, you know? So we want a lot of them to come,
Right.
Yes.
So bring your kids. That it's going to be a safe environment. Don't think that your kids are just going to be left unattended. All right. We'll go to some bigger community discussion questions, and then we'll go to a rapid fire since we're coming to the end of our show. What do you think is the biggest animal welfare problem facing Palau right now, in a general opinion?
There is lack of, the way the people take care of the animals. This is what we are saying. Okay, the dog is dog, so it can stay outside, so does not have to go to the vet. So for them, most of the people I know, they are giving food, water, and, and shelter, honestly. But there are other things that are just, more than beyond that. Exactly. That's what we are talking about. You can get a lot of pictures on Facebook with they have taken a picture of dogs full of ticks, the skin is not good. You see the dog is roaming on the street. So this is the common thing you see. Okay, possibly I've never been to the villages, I know what's happening, but you can see we are talking about the ownership of the dog, the responsible. That's the dog is supposed to be at home, is supposed to be taken up, at least supposed to take a shower. This is what we're talking about. So most of those things are not being done. Exactly. And I told you because when you see a dog with a collar, they have somebody, definitely. It's owned by somebody. Exactly. Another thing I can say now, you see, right now, actually, when we are coming there is a dog we saw close to the secondary school there. It's just a few kilometers. It's
From
just
the
a few
road.
meters from actually even from our clinic. But that animal is still intact and is still on the streets. Exactly. And we are providing the services for free. We can come pick your dog, go do the surgery, and bring it back home free of charge. And we're gonna still give you $10 for every animal.
Exactly. Did you hear that, people?
Exactly.
This is a free I mean, now that we have
We
the
can
new
pick.
van, the
Yes.
new van. We can come and pick up your dog, bring it to the clinic, fix it, bring it back, make sure that it's back with all the medication that it needs, and free of charge to you. A lot of people, I feel like that extra beyond shelter and water and food, I think they think that beyond doing those things is going to be a gargantuan expense. It would be if it was a different clinic, right? But this is PAWS, the Palau Animal Welfare Society, and it's providing all the services to us for free, so we should take advantage of them.
Yes.
Are we seeing too many unwanted puppies and dogs in Palau?
Yes. Most not on the street, but you know, in homes. Okay. And the problem comes in like, and I saw some puppies somewhere. Let me not say exactly, but they were not in good shape because they were full of lice and fleas and ticks. Honestly, and they are less than 2 months.
Ooh, very sad.
You can see that. So because the thing is, okay, you can say the way they are saying you want the dog to give the first litter, but how is it easy to dispose those to get them adopted to other people? It's not easy, exactly. And feeding them, because they need to realize that one, the small, when it's their puppies, they need more attention compared to the big animal. Because the big animal knows how to take care of them, exactly. That's why even they go roaming most probably. But the puppies, we have to feed them. They cannot go, exactly, you see. And now if the mother goes out, whatever the mother brings, those ticks and fleas, they're going to end up on the puppies. And because for them, they cannot be able to take care of them, their immunity is low, they're the one who's going to get affected at the end of the day. Yes, eh?
So with that question, I actually just the last week, because of our last talk show, I guess people recognized me and they wrote to me asking if there are dogs available for adoption. Is there a way for people to come and ask now that you have information about those puppies? Is there a way for people to come and ask if we can help them find homes for puppies, or people coming in and wanting to adopt? You guys can facilitate that.
Actually,
right?
we do that. We do that through our Facebook most of the time. Okay,
Right.
And also the Osabera, Dr. Desina, she's doing very well on her Facebook. Then we take that one, we're gonna post it on our Facebook, and then we know most of the people. Like there is a lady called Clara's Cat House, you know. We are in a good contact with those people. So if you need, you just need to phone us, and then we're gonna connect you with the right people, and we're gonna let you know where these animals are.
Right. So if you are interested in helping animals find their forever home, or you have animals that need to find their forever home and you need assistance, you can call 775-7297 or 775-PAWS, PAWS, or go to our Facebook page at PAWS, PAW, Palau, or Instagram page at PAWS_PW. And then what does... We'll talk about One Health, and I want you to kind of encompassate that with the responsible dog ownership before we go to the rapid fire. So what is responsible dog ownership, and how does that help the concept of One Health?
When we talk about the responsible dog ownership, it's like the needs we have as human beings. The dogs, they have the same need. Let's be honest. Or the same thing you do for yourself, you need also to do, because it needs to eat, it needs to drink, it needs, yes. So these animals are supposed to be roaming on the streets. That's what we are talking about. Because I gave you an example of a dog that have leptospirosis from home. So actually it's you as a human being who fed the dog outside. So you left the food there. So the rat came from wherever it came from, exactly. So it came from the forest, most probably. So the environment, exactly.
Yeah.
So it urinates on that one. The dog eats that, it gets the leptospirosis. You as a human, you are the one who takes care of the dog. You're also one who takes care of those balls, whatever. So in the process, you can also have a cat. When you're cleaning those balls from that urine, you can get leptospirosis. Exactly. So this is where we are looking at. It affects everyone. We are looking at one concept whereby we want to ensure that the environment, the health, and the animals we live, because we live in one environment. And zoonosis, surrounds us all.
Right.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yes.
I just want to, with that, provide an example. Koro state government now prohibits dogs from going to the southern lagoon. Anywhere in Koro state that's not the main business district, it's illegal to have a dog. So you cannot, if your dog doesn't have permission, you cannot put it on a boat and take it out to a rock island. And in that sense, we are protecting the environment and the people because we're taking out the dog so that we can maintain the environment and the environment for the people. But if we want to live with the dogs, that's what we want to we have to do. We have to be responsible pet owners to protect the dog, the environment, and ourselves. All right, before we go, we'll do some rapid fire question for Saturday. Can I just show up on Saturday morning?
Yes.
Yes. Do I need to register?
No.
What time should I arrive?
Before 7.
Before
Because we are
7.
we are
It's starting at 7,
7.
so before
Yes.
7. Where exactly is Scojo Ramp? We're actually near the hospital right now. If you are at the hospital, you just continue toward driving towards Palau Pacific Resort. You'll see a sign. There's 2 posts, white posts on the right side of the street, and it'll say Koro State Gym. Just follow that road all the way to the end, and you'll see us there. We'll have a sign as well. Does my dog need to be on a leash?
Yes.
Yes, and we will provide leashes and collars, but they are limited and first come, first serve. So keep that in mind. If you don't have a collar or a leash for your dog, you might want to come very early because we only have enough. We don't have unlimited supply. What should I bring for my dog? Leash if you have it, a water bowl if you have it, and snacks if you know that your dog might need some replenishment of snacks later. Should I bring water? We're
We'll
gonna
provide
have
the water, but if you can, it's still okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, always provide the necessary needs that your dog needs, or you think you know that your dog needs, and we'll catch you from there. And can I come even if I don't have a dog?
Yes.
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 Actually, please
Please
come if you
come.
don't have a
Yes.
dog, so you can see how
It's a
other people
community
interact.
thing.
Yeah,
And I don't
we're
know
trying to do
yes.
this as a community thing, and a big part of it is the teaching. Like even if you don't have one,
Yes.
you should be able to see people interact with their dogs or socialize their dogs so that you know how to do it. Where can people get information from now until then? I guess you can call our office at 775 PAWS. That's 7297, or 488 PAWS, the same thing. Or go to our Facebook page at PAWS Palau, or Instagram PAWS_PW. So in closing, whether you have a dog that goes everywhere with you, or a dog that mostly hangs out around the house, or you simply support animal welfare in Palau, come join us with PAWS in Saturday morning. Bring the family, bring your dog on a leash, get some exercise, have your dog checked, and learn more about keeping our pets healthy. Do you have anything to add?
No, that's everything is covered.
Other than that, we will see you on Saturday, August 15th from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. at the Scocho Ramp in Muyuns. And thank you for spending this hour with us with the Palau Animal Welfare Society. Again, my name is Menzel. Say hi if you see me around. Dr. Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sige daw lang mga talk show gid ra pos malungili tasil sel beklad.